Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. I'm Daniel.
no,
I'm Brett.
I'm back.
I got flustered. I was gonna commandeer the whole show.
Yeah, I just had to get the medallion because otherwise you can't think anything I say seriously.
You know what? There was a clutch moment.
Yeah.
Couldn't pull it off.
You couldn't. It's too soon.
Yes, that makes sense. Blood and Oath?
Blood Oath.
Blood Oath.
Blood Oath. This is Blood Oath Pact 5, a gift from Leighton Bagley.
Leighton Bagley, you magnificent bastard!
Fight.
One of the cool people in Waco, Texas.
One of them?
Yeah, there's quite a few of them down there now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Urban territory. Here we go.
So this is a company. It's Luxco is the brand. They're the ones who did Rebel Yell, and they do. There's a handful of other blends.
People have strong opinions about the Rebel Yell.
Vodkas, flavored things.
Have you noticed this?
Oh yeah, they do.
Strong opinions.
Very strong opinions.
The Rebel Yell. Like I've tasted it, and I don't have it. It's not so weirdly, crazily, wildly different than stuff I've had many different bottlings.
I agree.
Yeah, I wonder what that's from.
So this one is, they source bourbons. They don't say where from.
Oh.
And the guy who creates these is John Rimpey, but they say it's sourced.
Sure.
They tell you, we are sourcing this bourbon.
Sure.
They're blending an 8, 11-year-old, and 13-year-old whiskeys.
Right.
And
well, and I guess that's the most important part, because sometimes the source that you're getting stuff from, they don't want people to know. So maybe they can't.
Fair enough.
Maybe they
aren't
share
allowed to.
Yeah.
So this one, they took an 8-year-old bourbon.
Yeah.
Finished it for 6 months in rum casks.
Oh, rum.
Caribbean rum.
Okay.
And then they blended it with an 11-year-old wheated bourbon and a 13-year-old rye bourbon.
Honestly, I don't think I would have picked up any rummy bits. I am squarely in bourbon territory. You piqued my interest with the rum.
Well, you said it, and it feels like it's psychosomatic now, but before, I would have just said a really sweet bourbon.
Yeah, well, and so let's get specific. Sweetness presenting as a bourbon cherry. And then,
a lot of honey.
Yeah, a lot of honey. And there is like this kind of almost like a brown sugar with a little bit of a malty dusting on it. What is this? There's like a nut.
Yeah, malt balls.
Yeah.
Like, what are those? They're actually called malt balls, but they're a brand.
Yeah.
Like
a sweetened,
cream-looking
candy
box.
sweetened type of malty. Yeah.
Ironically, because
I like the nose, actually. I don't know the price point or the availability or anything, but the nose is really nice.
The drink's very candied and woody all at the same time.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like that one.
Yeah.
The last Blood Pact, I wasn't sure, or Blood Oath, I wasn't sure if I don't remember really falling in love with it, but this one's
finally finishes.
Interesting.
Finally finishes with a nice sweet vanilla.
Yeah. It's definitely ends in sweetness.
Right, but along the way,
there's a little wood spice in there and a little antique-y
you get the little just about 3/4 of the way through. So it's a flavor of. I feel like I have seen this bottle, but it was a red label.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the 5th one.
Oh,
right. He does different ones, each one a different blend. This is a pretty cool thing. I think John Rimpey is doing, I hope it's Rimpey, I'm pronouncing it correctly. But anyway, he started working for Luxco, the food company, working on like carbonated beverages and all this stuff like 17 years ago. And now they've created this entire whiskey company creating Blood Oath, and they made John in charge of it, and he's now developing an entire portfolio of blends, whiskey blends in America.
Right.
And I just think that's cool.
Yeah, no, I dig. The cherry gets more prominent as you go back, and that like dusted malt bowl type of note, that fades away.
Yeah.
I've lost that.
Don't fade away.
So after you sip, go back to the nose. And the nose is almost presenting as an Irish mustiness.
Now that you said that, I can taste it too.
You can taste the Irish?
That sort of like buttercream.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not so, shortbread.
It is. It's like those craft small company Irish pots, single malts.
Yeah.
Not the pot stills, they're single malts.
Yeah.
Like this is headed down the line of, I mean, it doesn't taste like it, but there's some notes in here that I've also picked up in the Teeling pot still.
Right on. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, I'm going to do something.
Pretty damn good.
So here's the thing. I don't know what to do about this. So set that down for a second. We're going to establish something right now, but I don't know what to do about it.
Precedent?
Precedent.
Okay.
We are now at the point where random, fairly famous distilleries have added us to their promotional list So I'm now getting these like things saying, "Hey, you're a influencer. Here's a sample of our newest Elijah Craig barrel proof release. We would love for you to try." And then there's a generic letter from Josh Hafer that just says, "Welcome to our." He's the senior communications manager. So what do we do with shit like that? Because it's not a full bottle; it's sample size review bottles.
And
it's from a brand who's now we're on just their generic. Send promotional items to these
just
people.
Collect it all. Once it reaches critical mass, we'll blast out an episode talking about random things that people sent us without knowing who we are. Sergeant Fury, I want to see them recreate that Scotch whiskey recipe.
Yeah, so I was thinking we should try to recreate some of the ancient rectifier recipes. The ones where it's like, let's start with vodka and make you a Scotch or make you a bourbon. Mm-hmm. And you add things like tartaric acid and molasses and these things to take vodka and make it taste like a whiskey. These recipes are out there, like pre-prohibition.
That'd be pretty funny.
Late 1800s rectifier recipes.
Yeah, all right, we're gonna do that. It's gonna be on the Whiskey Tribe channel. Ben Alpers, would a whiskey with the 51% rye mash bill, aged in new but uncharred barrels, also need to be labeled whiskey distilled from rye mash?
Yes.
And does my even conceiving of that question indicate that I have a whiskey geekery problem?
Yes. Welcome to the never-ending black hole of whiskey information. I've fallen down this rabbit hole myself.
Right. So
you're on the journey now.
What is the threshold for it to be considered a rye?
Used new oak.
New oak.
Has to be new oak. New charred. New charred oak.
So this question was basically addressing the char question.
Yeah.
It can't just be. Well, could it be toasted?
Nope.
Can't be toasted.
Well, I don't actually know. The code says charred.
Oh, is a toast?
I don't know if toast would qualify.
Is a toast just a name for a super light char? Because it's not really charred. But
the thing is,
there's fire.
In theory, the maker that qualifies as a separate things. So in theory, the TTB would qualify as a separate thing.
And could you treat it kind of like a technically bourbon?
Seems like a slippery slope.
As long as the spirit touches wood, now it's a bourbon. Could fire touch the wood and all of a sudden this is charred?
No, I don't know. I don't know that anyone's ever tested the boundaries of that yet.
Right. This is where rules start to fall apart.
Yeah.
Right. You just need like big guiding principles.
Slippery slope.
Right. As soon as you start getting too granular, it's a hot mess. Pleasantly surprised, not life-changing.
No, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's getting sweeter and sweeter every sip.
Yeah, I like the nose a little bit more than the taste.
Yeah.
But all in all, yeah, it's a nice whiskey.
Dry week.
25th, October 25th. When does this video come out? Anyways, October 25th, I don't know when this is coming out, but it's October 25th. And let's talk about what the dry week is and let's set it up.
Dry week is when we take a week off from drinking alcohol for a full 7 days.
And you are invited to join us, as obviously is not mandatory, but as a community, we are going to hang out in the social groups a little bit more, get caught up with our work.
Yeah.
This is really like four times a year we get to buckle down and do stuff that needed to be done many months ago. And if you choose to participate in the dry week with us, then at the end of the dry week, we're going to put up a link for the Whiskey Challengers.
That's right.
Magnificent bastards who successfully went the entire week without doing the alcohols. Yeah. And we'll put the list up on the website of the Whiskey Challengers.
And it's totally optional.
Yep. Now
here's to
fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, I fight for a friend.
You steal me, you steal a lover's
And
heart.
if you drink, may you drink with us.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.